I'll bring a lot of videos related to PTE and how to get your desired score. Hello everyone and welcome to Milestone Study. My name is Anusha and in this video we are going to do a full speaking mock test from Pearson's official mock test. So we're going to see if I'll get 90 by 90 by using all the methods that I've taught you in the videos that are posted previously. We also run a PTE Institute. So if you need formal classes, courses, then you can also message us. All the contact details are in the description below. Before we go ahead, do not forget to subscribe to this channel and you know what to do with that bell icon. Let's go ahead and start our test. Now, let's give you some disclaimers. All the strategies or structures that I'm going to use in this video doing this mock test are all tested in the real exam as well. I'm just going to show you here so that you know how I take my tests personally. And also, if you have been following me for quite a while, you also know that I've scored 90 multiple times in the speaking section and also in all other modules. For my headset, this is just the normal headset I got from JB Hi-Fi. Don't know, this is called Razor or Crazer or whatever. It doesn't matter what kind of headset you use. If you are taking your test using your wireless earphone, then your score may not be as accurate as in the real test. Okay, so yeah, and the mic position, let's do it. Here is the position. I don't prefer using it anywhere else like nose and all those things, because this works perfectly for me and for all my students as well. So that means you don't have to experiment with the mic position. This will be perfect. Testing, testing, mic testing, test. Yeah, now, okay, this sounds perfect. All right, so my mic position is ready. I go to dashboard, I think, or practice test. Yeah, access your test. I've got 4 left. Today we are going to do score test A, and this is going to be only speaking. Okay. All right, and read aloud. I'm not going to use one-line strategy. Previously, in test B, I did the one-line strategy where I got 27 in the speaking section and 36 around in the reading section. Yeah. Now, I've also got one request that's not to do answer short questions. Okay. So I'm thinking of trying that in this question type. I'm not going to do answer short question in score test A. All right. And the rest of them will be as it is as I taught. Okay. Start. This is read aloud. I'll read everything. There is every reason to, this is my practice time. There is every reason to believe that effective regulations are not merely a luxury that only the rich can afford, but an important foundation for a thriving private sector and economic growth. But the broad pattern of the past 5 years has been that the main reform efforts are taking place in rich countries. You will not be given any beverage in the exam. There is every reason to believe that effective regulations are not merely a luxury that only the rich can afford, but an important foundation for a thriving private sector and economic growth. But the broad pattern of the past 5 years has been that the main reform efforts are taking place in rich countries. Okay, that was a perfect one. So I expect full marks here. The survey found that the statistical chances of someone from a poor background being accepted at one of the country's most respected universities are far lower than those of a student from a wealthy family. This means that the inequalities in society are likely to be passed down from one generation to the next. Statistical. The survey found that the statistical chances of someone from a poor background being accepted at one of the country's most respected universities are far lower than those of a student from a wealthy family. This means that the inequalities in society are likely to be passed down from one generation to the next. Got 35 to practice. But this is very short. Every morning, no matter how late he had been up, my father rose at 5:30, went to his study, wrote for a couple of hours, made us all breakfast, read the paper with my mother, and then went back to work for the rest of the morning. Many years passed before I realized that he did this for a living. He did this for a living. Every morning, no matter how late he had been up, my father rose at 5:30, went to his study, wrote for a couple of hours, made us all breakfast, read the paper with my mother, and then went back to work for the rest of the morning. Many years passed before I realized that he did this for the living. Oh, why did I say for the living? It was for a living. Mm, okay, just making a note. Although it comes from a remote region in the Himalayas, this plant now looks entirely at home on the banks of English rivers. Brought to the UK in 1839, so numbers we can say 1839, it quickly escaped colonizing riverbanks and damp woodlands. Now it is spreading across Europe, New Zealand, and Canada. In the Himalayas, the plant is held in check by various pests and it grows and produces unhindered. Unhindered. Although it comes from a remote region in the Himalayas, this plant now looks entirely at home on the banks of English rivers. Brought to the UK in 1839, it quickly escaped colonizing riverbanks and damp woodlands. Now it is spreading across Europe, New Zealand, and Canada. In the Himalayas, the plant is held in check by various pests and it grows and reproduces unhindered. Very short. While yellow is considered an optimistic color, people lose their tempers more often in yellow rooms and babies will cry more. It is the most difficult color for the eye to take in, so it can be overpowering if overused. Mm, Okay, enough time. I'll just have my mouse cursor ready to click next. While yellow is considered an optimistic color, people lose their tempers more often in yellow rooms and babies will cry more. It is the most difficult color for the eye to take in, so it can be overpowering if overused. Just a bit of fumbling, like very minor fumbling, okay? Once. Orientalists. Orientalists, like, so lists, you don't have to really say Orientalists. You can if you want to, but I will just say Orientalists. Orientalists, like many other early 19th century thinkers, conceive of humanity either in large collective terms or in abstract generalities. Orientalists are neither interested in nor capable of discussing individuals. Instead, artificial entities predominate. They herd beneath very wide labels every possible variety of human plurality, reducing it in the process of collective abstractions. Orientalists, like many other early 19th century thinkers, conceive of humanity either in large collective terms or in abstract generalities. Orientalists are neither interested in nor capable of discussing individuals. Instead, artificial entities predominate. They herd beneath very wide labels every possible variety of human plurality, reducing it in the process to collective abstractions. I have to stay focused. Children as young as 14 months old will spontaneously help others for no reward, but a study of 3 to 5 year olds found that although they would spontaneously draw pictures, if they were given a reward for drawing pictures, then later they wouldn't make any drawings unless a reward was offered. Very important for moms and dads. So that's why people say don't reward your child spontaneously. Children as young as 14 months old will spontaneously help others for no reward, but a study of 3 to 5 year olds found that although they would spontaneously draw pictures, if they were given a reward for drawing pictures, then later they wouldn't make any drawings unless a reward was offered. Okay, this is repeat sentence.
Students are not allowed to take journals out of the library.
Students are not allowed to take journals out of the library.
There are many people in the USA who are critical of their voting system.
There are many people in the USA who are critical of their voting system.
Results will be available in the main quad and online.
Results will be available in the main quad and in online.
His academic supervisor called in to see him last night.
His academic supervisor called in to call him last night. Some mistakes.
The head of department isn't available till Thursday.
The head of department isn't available until Thursday. Until.
The problems facing us today are global and therefore need global solutions.
The problems facing us today are global and therefore we need global solutions.
In the 1880s, cycling became a major phenomenon in Europe.
In 1880, cycling became a major phenomenon in Europe.
Please take these up to Mr. Mitchell in the chemistry lab.
Please take these materials in the chemistry lab. He didn't say material.
Modern business has to adapt and be flexible in order to survive.
Modern business has to adapt and be flexible to survive.
The mock trial aims to increase interest in the law and the judicial process.
The mock trial aims to increase laws and judicial process.
The qualities needed by a successful business manager are similar to those needed in sport.
The quality needed by successful business managers are similar in the course.
Evidence for clear correlations of brain events and behavioural events are always fascinating.
Evidence for brain evidence and just something I don't know. Okay, I made a big mistake. Again, concentration. Okay, now. The picture is mainly about gender pay gap and also about Scotland and UK and also about 1997 and 2005 and also about 1997 and 1999. Scotland pay. The picture is mainly about gender pay gap and also about Scotland and UK and also about 1997 and 2005 and also about Scotland pay gap and UK pay gap and also about percent and 0, 5, 10, 15. I think that's enough. Thank you so much. Okay, now in this case, I can see how many seconds I've spoken, but in the exam, you won't be able to see this, okay? So you have to understand when you are done. Percent of households with selected consumer durables. The picture is mainly about percent of households with selected consumer durables and also about UK and also about percentage and also about telephone and also about microwave and CD player and my mobile phone and also about 0, 20, 40. I think that's enough. Thank you so much. Okay, just a bit of fumble, but just one tiny fumble. The picture is mainly about precipitation and average temperature. The picture is mainly about precipitation and average temperature and also about precipitation and average temperature and also about 0, 10, 20, 30, 40 and also about 0, 100, 200, 300 and 400 and also about January and February. I think that's enough. Thank you so much. I stopped my breath for some time there. Amount of food wasted per year in UK. Food and drink manufacturers. Megatons. The picture is mainly about amount of food wasted per year in UK and also about megatons and also about hospitality sector and institutions and also about private household and distribution and retail companies and also about food and drink. I think that's enough. Thank you so much. retail
To
lecture.
begin with, how underfunded is UK higher education? The table shows the proportion of gross domestic product spent on institutions by the main OECD countries for the latest year, for which we have statistics, 2001. It shows that UK spending, public and private, on higher education institutions was at 1.08%, well below the OECD mean of 1.34% of GDP. The table clearly shows that the UK is in the bottom 5 countries of the 20 in the table in terms of public expenditure on tertiary education, its spending being proportionately equal to that of Italy and Mexico. At the other end of the table, we see that Denmark and Finland allocate most public money to tertiary education, spending twice as high a proportion of GDP on it as does the UK.
The audio was mainly about funded and products and also about education year in 2001 and also about shows and UK spending and also the audio was mainly about funded and products and also about education year end 2001 and also about shows UK spending and also about 1.08% and below OECD and also about table and 5 countries and also about expenditure and equal Denmark and Finland. I think that's enough. Thank you so much. Answer short questions. I'm going to skip, yeah?
What is
All right. Now this is summarized written text. Okay, this is essay. I have to skip all the questions after this. Drop down gives us writing marks and reading marks. Multiple, reorder. Drag and drop. And the final question, finish. Then comes listening. Last time, when I only took the write from dictation, I got 46 in writing and 37 in listening, which is like in writing, it's more than half. Yeah, this is write from dictation. So let's submit it. Are you sure you want to submit? Yes. So that was Thursday. I'll show you my score. This was when I took just the write from dictation and the read aloud section, one line strategy. And that's when I got 27 in speaking and 36 in reading. I made like minor mistakes like I did this today. Today we also have to focus on one repeat sentence, which was absolutely horrible. Then 37 in listening, and there were 31 words in total. I added multiple words like I think in I know it for sure that in one of them I wrote 17 words, whereas I had to write 10 words, and in the other ones I wrote 15 words. I had to write only 10 and 11 words. Okay, let's go back and check if the marks are available. Yeah, scores are not ready. Now, meanwhile, I'll show you what I did. Okay, yeah, here I have all my notes ready. So I'll show you what I wrote, okay? In write from dictation, in case that computer doesn't come back to life. So in my first write from dictation, the sentence was, it is absolutely vital that you acknowledge all your sources. This was 10 words. And the second one was, in any written assignment, comma, a detailed literature, spellings, literature review is very important. And the third one was control systems in manufacturing provide a high level of accuracy. Now, I got these 100% right, but still I wanted to check with double single words. So what I did was, instead of it is, I wrote it was, and is as well. It is, it was, and the spelling of absolutely, I changed to absolutely. And acknowledge, I wrote knowledge. Okay, like this. And that's the score I got. And in one of them, I didn't even write a full stop, and I didn't start with a capital letter. In the second one, what I did was kind of, there's the faint memory. Assignment, I wrote assignments. Detailed, I wrote detail. And something, yeah, and in n, because sometimes people hear, instead of in, they hear n. I wrote this one. Yeah, now I can't remember, but I did write a few extra words. Then in systems, I wrote system. Provide, I wrote provides as well, together. High level of levels. Okay, so plus something else, but now I can't remember. Oh yeah, instead of accurate, I also wrote a high level of power, because sometimes people are confused with what the word was. Okay, definitely instead of accuracy, if you write power only, then you don't get the marks, but I wrote accuracy as well as power. And after doing this, I got 36 in 37 in listening. Okay guys, so now let's go back and check if my marks are ready. Okay, now we'll check in a while, okay? But meanwhile, if you have any questions, let me know in the comment section what other experiments you want me to do. I have got 3 more mock tests, and I am planning to test more things, okay? So in this test, just to recap, what we've done is done all the speaking part, and so what I'm expecting is 90 in speaking, but as we know, I've done some, I don't know why I made a mistake. My focus got lost. So in the last repeat sentence, I made a mistake. And in every other repeat sentences, I fumbled or said, instead of until, I said till, until. Then in repeats, read aloud, I also did a little bit of mistakes, like I did some kind of, I did change some words like the, and the rest, the flow and accuracy, you all evidently saw what I did. Yeah. Okay guys, so let's refresh. It's almost an hour. What is it? Okay, look, I was expecting 90. I wasn't actually expecting 90 because of the mistakes, but I did still get 90 in speaking, and that contributed 36 marks for reading and 34 marks for listening. So that tells us that the structures are all fine, and the timing, 15 seconds, I didn't speak any of them more than 15 seconds. That's also fine. Okay. And reading section from exactly from when I did the one-line strategy, there also I got 36 in reading. So that means I'm getting full marks for reading using the one-line strategy, and also by reading everything. Yeah, that confirms the one-line strategy. But please be careful before doing one-line strategy. Okay, don't just watch my videos and say, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do one-line strategy. You have to take your own risk. Don't come back at me and say, because you told me I did one-line strategy and I didn't get my score. There are some people blaming it on me. Says that they say that I watch your videos and I got this much. See, I'm just giving you a proof that you're not supposed to blame anybody. Whoever is making these videos are obviously, they are doing it not to scam anyone. Okay, so this is 90 speaking. You saw my performance, reading and listening as well. I should have got a little more in the listening section. You see, I missed all the answer short questions and they do hold some listening marks, as the score guide says. So it could be because of that I've got only 34 in listening. So don't miswrite answer short questions in the real exam, okay? Try to attempt 100%, but if not, if you're not getting the answers, if you're taking longer than usual, then just skip the answer, then just skip that question, okay? Otherwise, you can also say, I don't know, you see? If you watch my previous videos, I've done this answer short questions, a full video on answer short questions, and there I've said that if you don't know anything, just say, I don't know. Okay. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll be coming with more experiments. Let me know which other experiments you want me to try with. And Anusha signing off. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.